So, I've dealt with acne for a long time, but you may not know that by looking at these photos. Over the last 6 years, I've gotten pretty good at faking clear skin online without much retouching. All of these photos and videos are completely unedited and raw footage from my iPhone. Behind the scenes, this video is from the night before. And keep in mind, I'm covering a lot of my acne with hair. I've been dealing with hormonal acne for the last few years, and I know how much of a toll it took on my confidence, whether I admitted it or not. It was to the point where I refused to leave the house without foundation, even if we were just running to the food store or to see family. Within the last 6 months, I found a skincare routine that's been working very well to treat my acne. My skin is in a much healthier and happier place, but if you're looking for tips to cover your acne or simply improve your base routine to look the most natural and quote-unquote perfect skin, then you've come to the right place. My number one tip to you: do not sleep on skin prep. These days I have a very dedicated skincare routine for my acne, but back in the day when I didn't, I still knew to always prep the skin with moisturizer. Always. If you have dry skin or dry patches, we want to do all that we can to prevent the makeup from clinging to it, so a decent moisturizer will definitely help. Doing this will also allow for a super smooth base for your makeup to go onto. It's the difference between painting on glass and painting on sandpaper, you know? Even if you have an oily skin type, make sure that you're moisturizing your skin to some extent. Having a decent skincare routine can elevate your makeup far more than any overpriced or luxury foundation ever could. My next tip is to pick a foundation for your skin type and start by applying a thin layer. I didn't even end up using half this much product. I like to use my hands to apply complexion products because I find that they always offer the most natural and skin-like appearance in comparison to using a brush or a sponge. I think brushes are great for a quick application, but sometimes they can leave streaks, whereas when I use my hands and really press the product into my skin, the warmth of my fingers really allows the product to melt down and give the most seamless blend. My next tip, and one of my favorites, is to spot conceal using that foundation. Leave the areas of your skin that don't have a lot of acne bare, so it gives off a more natural appearance. For example, right now I only have one small pimple on my forehead, so in this instance, because the rest of my forehead is mostly clear, I would take a small bit of foundation and use that to spot conceal over the pimple, focusing most of the product right on the head and blending out around it. If you want to go for that skin-like finish, then I definitely recommend picking a foundation that has a light to medium coverage. When you need more coverage, go in with more foundation in that particular spot. I find that when you layer one product on top of itself, it looks much more like skin than adding in a new product like concealer that has a different formula, a different finish maybe, and definitely a different shade. After I'm finished applying, I always press my fingers all over my face to ensure that the product is sitting comfortably and feels like skin. This also ensures the most seamless blend and skin-like finish. I find that whenever you use your hands as a tool for applying makeup, it always looks a bit more natural. It's so important to remember that with acne, texture will always show through. I feel like because so many of us are used to taking tips from people online, there's a lot of editing and lighting that can affect the way someone's skin is being portrayed. That means someone who possibly has raised pimples that you would very clearly see in person becomes a lot more subdued in videos or photos, especially if they've been photoshopped out. I'm definitely guilty of doing this a few times in photos if I thought my pimple was distracting, but I think it's much healthier to be in a mindset of acceptance rather than seeking change. We cure acne through skincare, not makeup, so we can't expect makeup to totally fix the problem. There's absolutely nothing wrong with sharing your skin online the way it looks in person. There's no real need to fake perfection. Another tip is to focus on areas of your skin that are clear. Try to draw more attention there. For me, that's my cheeks and the center of my face. So sometimes I use a lot of blush or have my focus be the eyeliner so it distracts people so they don't necessarily notice pimples. Even if you don't really wear makeup like that and you want to go for the most natural, simple, no makeup look, let's say you're just doing skin and brows like I'm doing today, really take that extra time to focus on your eyebrows. Give it the most attention you've ever given them, because that's going to be the first thing that catches someone's eye, rather than maybe a pimple you're trying to hide. Typically, I don't set using powder since my skin is dry, but I also think that helps keep it looking more like skin, because skin doesn't naturally have powder that sits on top of it, you know? If you do have more oily or combination skin and setting powder is a non-negotiable, I definitely recommend doing it with a damp sponge, because it does set into the skin much more naturally than using a brush where powder tends to lay on the skin. It's so funny looking back at these pictures and videos, because at the time of filming, I never ever thought that these photos were going to leave my camera roll. But I'm happy to share them if that means helping someone like you who may be in a similar situation or mindset. There is nothing, absolutely nothing inherently wrong about having acne on your face. It's something a lot of people go through. I never thought that I'd be comfortable coming on camera with my bare skin, but don't give up researching your skin and putting the effort in to visit dermatologists, because that's what I did and I was able to find a solution. These are some tips that I used to use on the daily, but don't feel pressured to ever cover your acne or scars. I can't see you, but I can feel through the screen that I am looking at one gorgeous face naturally. So you got this. I really hope you found this video helpful, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye y'all, stay safe.